Ah, yes. We are less than 1 month away for one of the biggest premium live event of the year for WWE. That is WrestleMania, the pro wrestling of Super Bowl. And a lot had happened before heading to the biggest premium live event ever, the second Big Four pay-per-view. I mean, the Royal Rumble, the aftermath has become so chaotic. But hey, we're going to have to make a quick pit stop because we're actually going to be stopping by to one of the premium live events that is going to be the first international PLE of 2024. That is Eliminations Chambers, which is going to take place on Saturday, February 21st in Perth, Australia. Now, before I get started, hi, how are you doing? I'm your girl, Sienna Chanel. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I make like long form videos, mostly predictions video, and sometimes I post a YouTube shorts of like trend videos, satire, whichever the case would be. But if you're new to this channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for notification when I'll be dropping new videos, either in a long forum or on YouTube short. Also, make sure to follow me on all social media. I'll have it in the description bar down below as well. Now then, before we get started of the prediction video, I'm going to pop up this schedule right here. This schedule is actually for the North American, Central American, and South American time, of course. And I do wanted to say something to address it because I know my viral video, which is like the satire of the Elimination Chambers pay-per-view, me waking up, hit viral on both TikTok and Instagram. However, the one thing that I got most of the comments that became like a troll comment, surprisingly enough, it was on Instagram. Now, I got a couple people saying that I need to stop complaining or I should just, wait until watch it on replay or like now you know how you feel. First of all, y'all, number one, I watch other wrestling promotion internationally. I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling, DDT Pro, and Pro Wrestling Noah, where they're the companies based in Japan. I do watch it live, of course, which this is nothing new to me because, like, I do watch wrestling up all night or early in the morning, depends on, like, the start time of the event. So this is not my first time ever that I've done this. Plus, as y'all remember, a couple years ago, WWE did a premium live event in Australia. Y'all remember this pay-per-view? Super Showdown, which took place in Melbourne, Australia back in 2018. Now, y'all remember it? That's right. So like I said, this is not my first time or y'all's first time that actually stayed up all night or waking up early in the morning to watch a wrestling pay-per-view. And I've done this, like, ever since I got into more of the wrestling promotion in 2017. Nothing too new to me at all. So I'm not showing any ounce of complaint, not any ounce of, like, like crying on cue or anything like that. And especially when it comes to the satire video as well, sometimes it's based on my real life situation. And yes, sometimes I do get text message from my family. I mean, I still live with my family, but I do help out most of the part, like with the rant and bills and everything like that. And yes, I ain't complaining right now because I'm like sick and tired of the troll comments. I mean, nothing new within the IWC, right? But anyway, I'm really looking forward to the pay-per-view. I am definitely going to be watching it live, which is a very beautiful thing because, like, I know that, like, other parts of the world, they do stay up all night or watch it the next day just to, like, watch what's going on within the wrestling program as well. And I feel like this is a beautiful thing that all of us around the world would get a chance to interact with one another on social media, sharing, like, the matches, wrestlers, and everything like that. This is like my personal preference that I am looking forward to watching it live though. Like I said, this is nothing new to me, but if you guys prefer to watch it, later on as soon as you wake up on replay, that's totally up to you. Totally fine. As long as you turn off the notification and log off of all social media so you can avoid the spoiler. So yeah, y'all, this is all I gotta say to address, like, the whole, like, time zone situation, my satire videos and everything because, troll comments, of course, it's like a complete headache. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the prediction video. So we have 5 matches total. Totally fine for a very standard premium live event. I know in the past you wanted to have more than 5 matches, but this is a new era still. And people are still complaining, like, come on now. You like longer matches? Perfect. 5 is doable, all right? And so they added a match not too long ago, which I'm very surprised by it, which, you know, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and kick off with the pre-show match, which is going to be the WWE Women's Championship match between the current champ, Kabuki Warrior, Asuka, and Kairi Sane versus DIY's own Candice LeRae or Indy Hartwell, or should I say She-I-Y. Well, technically, either Candice or Indy did actually coin that. But yeah, it looks like they did add it just so that way it can give like more of a homecoming boost to Indy Hartwell since she is from Australia. Her and Candice LeRae, they were the former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. So this is nothing new to them, but then they're having a kind of like a big test to face off against one of the Ruthless tag teams, of course, the Kabuki Warrior. And since now the Kabuki Warrior are part of Io Sky's Damage Control and this whole situation going on with Bayley and Dakota Kai going on, will we see any interference going on, especially an appearance by Dakota Kai? I mean, this is something that we're going to be seeing what's going on. But then again, it is going to be in a pre-show match. I don't think we're not going to be seeing any shenanigans going on with either or, though. But it is a good, like, homecoming welcoming for Indy Hartwell that she's having a match, you know, in her home country of Australia. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with Kabuki Warrior to retain the Women's Tag Team Champion. And that way they can continue on to hold this Tag Team Champion. And we're not sure who's going to be a tag team that's going to be the one that's going to drop Kabuki Warrior's tag titles at Mania. I mean, anything can happen, right? So, yeah, my pick, Kabuki Warrior. Next up, we're going to be going to the main card right now. So, I would say the first up, and this is not going to be no particular order, I feel that the men's Elimination Chambers match will be the first one. And the winner will receive like the World Heavyweight Championship contendership spot at WrestleMania 40, which the current World Heavyweight Champion is Seth freaking Rollins. So here are the following participate in the chambers: Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, yeah, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul. I mean, I kind of mixed feelings of it because the only person that is on Monday Night Raw is Drew McIntyre, while the rest of the guys, Randy, Bobby, LA Knight, yeah, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul, they're on SmackDown. But then again, anything can happen. But I feel with this chamber match, there's going to be a lot of like storytelling that's going to take place. Like LA Knight and Logan Paul, I do feel like they're going to have like a little bit of a face-off with one another because Logan Paul is the current United States champion. And this may be a possible opponent for WrestleMania. I mean, I would love to see LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I mean, why not, though? But enough about that. And then Bobby Lashley, he just started with his faction alongside Street Profits and B-Fab and Randy Orton. I mean, he's going into this whole situation going on with AJ Styles and, of course, the Bloodline, trying to be the face of SmackDown. And then Drew McIntyre, you know, he has this whole animosity going on with Seth freaking Rollins, and of course trying to be like the ruthless heel that he is. So I'm going to go with my primary and my secondary pick. So my primary pick obviously is going to be Drew McIntyre. I mean, this is like the only opponent for Seth freaking Rollins at Mania that I would like to see Drew and Seth. And it's something that is going to be a feel-good moment for Drew itself. And then for my secondary pick, I'm just going to throw it out there. I do believe to see Kevin Owens be my secondary pick because of a little bit of a history between him and Rollins. But then again, anything can happen. So, Drew McIntyre, my primary pick. My secondary pick, Kevin Owens. Now, next up, we're going to go to the Women's World Championship match between the current champ, Mommy herself, Rhea Ripley, versus Nia Jax. And this is going to be a very big moment for this match because Rhea Ripley is from Australia and she's the current women's world champion. So this is going to be a huge moment for her. As far as for Nia Jax, she is Australian and Samoan descent. So this is going to be a huge moment for not just Rhea, but also for Nia Jax as well. And this is like, pretty much a huge impact in Australia for both of these ladies alike. And of course, we have this whole rivalry going on with Nia Jax trying to be the more of this ruthless heel in the women's division, trying to like demolish all the women's superstar. And then of course Rhea Ripley, she is a tweener. Despite being a heel and being a notable member of Judgment Day, she's a tweener, and a lot of the crowds are so gonna be behind her. So for my pick of this match, obviously Rhea Ripley is gonna retain the title. I mean, that's for sure. And next up, speaking of titles, Undisputed Tag Team Championship match between representing the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. I mean, Senor Money in the Bank Damian Priest versus the new Catch Republic, which is Tyler Bates. And thank God he changed his name back and brought back the gimmick, Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. And this is going to be a pretty fun match. And I know that the new Catch Republic, they earned their title shot, even though it's kind of like out of nowhere, of course, like on SmackDown. And honestly, I'm barely trying to catch up with SmackDown because I'm at work at that time, but anything can happen. But for my easy pick, I do see Damian Priest and Finn Balor retaining the title though, so there's that. And then lastly, we're going to go with the Women's Elimination Chambers match. I do believe that this match is going to be main eventing because of a lot of like storytelling that's going to be happening. And the winner for that will get a Women's World Championship shot at WrestleMania, facing off against Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax. But, Rhea Ripley's going to retain, okay? The following participant you have is Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, there's going to be a lot that's going to be going on. First of all these women, they have their qualifying match to earn the shot at the Chamber. But then there's going to be a lot of storytelling that's going to happen. I mean, with Becky Lynch, she's been, cutting promos left and right. And, her brief rivalry with Rhea Ripley that she wanted to get that title and facing off against Rhea at Mania. And then you have Tiffany Stratton, who recently got called up to SmackDown from NXT. So we're going to be seeing a lot of face off between Becky and Tiffany because Becky was the one that dethroned Tiffany's NXT Women's Championship, a couple months ago. And of course, now Tiffany has a rival with not only with the EST Bianca Belair, but the returning Naomi. And y'all know Naomi had a very incredible run with TNA Wrestling, and then she came back recently at Royal Rumble, which I'm super happy she is back. And speaking of return, Liv Morgan made her return at Royal Rumble. She started out with her revenge tour, even though she has a history with Rhea Ripley, since Rhea did injure her from a couple months ago. And of course, Liv and Rhea were a tag team at the time. Of course, Rhea did betray her and all that. And plus, you have Raquel Rodriguez as well, which she have a rivalry going on with Rhea Ripley as well too. And she made her surprise appearance recently, where she did won the Battle Royal to get the last spot for the Women's Elimination Chambers match though. And I don't mind seeing there's going to be a lot of face-off going on with Raquel, Liv, and Bianca, of course. Anything can happen. Now, we're going to go with the primary and secondary pick. Now, my primary pick, and this is just me because I feel that if Rhea is going to retain the title, you need to have long-term storytelling. And that long-term storytelling is former friends, who was a tag team, and betrayal. Liv Morgan. I mean, she's going on a revenge tour, and her final stop at that revenge tour is Rhea Ripley for the title. My secondary pick, now, when it comes to the pillars of NXT, like the women's division, the first pillar you have is Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Bayley. And yes, there is Sasha Banks, but she's not in the company, of course. And then you have the second pillars of NXT that is now in the main roster. 3 of them. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Raquel Rodriguez. And y'all want to know who are my secondary pick from the pillars, whether it's Bianca or Raquel? It's going to be Raquel Rodriguez. Because there is a history of rivalry between her and Rhea in that mix. So, primary pick is Liv Morgan, and my secondary pick is Raquel Rodriguez. So, there's that with the match, and of course, we do have a segment going on with the Grayson Waller effect. Well, he'll be interviewing Seth freaking Rollins and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Question is, will we see the Bloodline interview? I believe may see the Bloodline like Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Roman, not really. Rock, no, because they just announced like on different reports that The Rock won't be at Chambers. But you know, it is what it is. But anything can happen. And I'm going to go list off one more time for my picks. So for the pre-show match, the Women's Tag Team Championship match, I choose Kabuki Warrior to retain over Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, aka She-IY or DIY. Then the main card you have is the Men's Elimination Chambers match. Primary pick is Drew McIntyre. Secondary pick is Kevin Owens. And then you have is the WWE Women's World Championship match. I choose Rhea Ripley to retain the title over Nia Jax. Then you have the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champion. I choose Judgment Day over New Catch Republic. And then you have is the Women's Elimination Chambers match. I choose primary pick Liv Morgan and my secondary pick Raquel Rodriguez. And that is it for the prediction video for WWE Elimination Chambers match. And of course, I am going to be doing a watch along alongside with the Main Event Players crew. So make sure to subscribe to the Main Event Players YouTube channel and on their Twitch channel, which I have everything in the description bar below as well. And do not forget to like this video, share, comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell icon button for new videos to be dropped, whether it's like in a long forum or on YouTube short. Also, make sure to follow me on all social media platforms. I'll have a link down in the description bar below or description or whichever. But anyway, y'all, I gotta go to bed so that way I'll be ready for the pay-per-view itself. I gotta get up before it hits 2 a.m. West Coast time. All right? Anyway, y'all, this is your girl, Sienna Chanel, or SC for short. Hope y'all have a great rest of your evening, day, morning, whichever, all in order. Take care, and etc., y'all.